In the parody of the children's classic Goodnight Moon, the author Android addresses a new generation with her book, Goodnight iPad. In the bright, buzzing room, there was an iPad and a kid playing Doom, and a screensaver of a bird launching over the moon. There were 3 little nooks with 10,000 books, and a huge LCD Wi-Fi HD TV with Bose 5.1, 6 remotes, and 3D. And a BlackBerry ringing with Eminem singing. And a new Facebook friend. And texts with no end. And a viral clip of cats doing flips. And the bing bongs of emails and tweets. In this crazy time of our long continuing shelter in place, where our only means of communication with the world includes TV, phones, iPads, computers, video games, etc., 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 we may be overwhelmed and overstimulated with screen time. We are juggling work at home, Zoom meetings, teaching and caring for children, keeping up with the news, and trying to find quality time with our family. Amid all of that, this evening in our reading, Paul responds to the question, how will the dead be raised? Paul explains that we all have different flesh. We have different flesh from animals and different flesh from each other. And when a seed is put into the ground, it must die before it can bring new life. Paul was dealing with people who maybe don't necessarily believe in the resurrection of the body. If Paul were here today, he might be wondering, by the way we live, if we are like the people of Corinth. During Lent, I heard a lot of people say, this is the lentiest Lent I've ever lented. And for most of us, it probably was. But now it's Easter, and we're still living in shelter in place. The time drags on, and we long for a time to go back to our regularly scheduled lives. Is that what we really want? I'm not sure if going back to where we were is the best. And I don't think that our hope in the resurrection is to live the way we live now. Paul writes about a life reshaped by God with another kind of glory. So how can we rise from this time differently? Where is our hope? Our hope is in the Lord, and we shall never hope in vain. This is a time to work toward that hope, to live into that hope. The hope in the resurrection brings a new life where we are living in a closer relationship with God. Easter does not change our current plight. Maybe it didn't change the current plight of the Corinthians either. But what the resurrection does change is how we live our life with Christ daily, even in the midst of despair. And Paul wrote, our physical body is put into the ground, but it is raised as a spiritual body. That's good news. Alleluia, alleluia.